Well, it's been a long day. I went with a ton of babies today. I've been going with a lot of babies, kind of drilling on them a little bit just to make sure they're polished up and ready for Friday. And if we have any issues, I want to nip them in the bud. Maybe some horses need the trotting hobbles on for a little bit. Maybe some horses need a splint that needs to be cryoed. That will have to wait till next week. We had two of our yearlings go to get operated on. Of Tom had a pretty big OCD taken out of her hock. Two, actually, I think, taken out of one hock. Grace, who's mine right now, Grace was dropped off this afternoon. She's getting her hocks, OCDs out of both her hocks. And then Path of Totality had a chip in her knee that we had cleaned up. We had taken that out last week. So we're getting there. As I said, I drilled down on a bunch of babies today. Wanted to make sure they're doing their work right. I added the hobbles to Prairie Fire today. He looked much better. Actually, added them yesterday. He looked much better. I put the hobbles on Sweet on Pete. Just because these horses, you know, when they're starting to pick up speed, sometimes what they'll do is they'll touch themselves, right? And then they'll make breaks. And I want to nip that in the bud. You know, I tell James all the time, I tell everybody all the time, a day they're not doing it right is a wasted day for them, me, you, and everyone. And I truly believe that. I mean, in this day and age when athletes work so hard to stay at the top of their game, our horses and us also have to work hard also if we want to stay at the top of our game, or the game, if we can. So days like today, I went with Rose Above It. He was good. I noticed he just touched his ankle down low. I don't think it needs addressing right now. We'll just cover him up a little bit better for now. As these horses, as I said, they start to stretch out. You'll see them stop doing that. I was happy with what I saw from him. The other thing is that sometimes they're babies. They just roll off, right? They'll make little breaks and just immature things. They're babies. But if we can keep them from doing it, that's good. I did make a decision today. Procrastinator, I turned him out in the field. He looked like he was starting to lose a little weight. He had a little snot in his nose and coughed a couple of times today, and he's done that like twice now. So I dropped him off out at Timmy's place, Shauna's place. They did a great job with the three that we had picked up. I'll talk about them in a minute. I just asked her, make him fat. I'll pick him up January 1st. Put as much weight on him as you can, get his spirits up, get him healthy, and we'll get him back going. I think that makes the most sense. A couple of horses won't be going on Friday. $1 Million Swan, as I said, was dealing with that. He was castrated. It got a little infected. He's fine now, but he's still just learning the ropes. It's going to be a slow process, I think, with $1 Million Swan, but there's nothing wrong with that. You know, look at the horses last year that were works in progress right up until they weren't any longer. Perfect example is a horse I picked up today, Tipsy and Dixie. She had made a lot of breaks throughout the winter. You could tell there was talent there, but she had to put it together. Now, I'm not trying to draw lines between those two horses, very different issues, but at the same time, we got to let them progress at their own time. And $1 Million Swan, as I said, will likely, for a number of reasons, will miss Friday also. So I did pick up some 2-year-olds turning 3 today. Still a few more coming back in. They're trickling back in, as I said the other day. We have a couple coming in from Pennsylvania that were turned out this week. And I picked up, I literally finished jogging, got in the truck and trailer, dropped off Grace at the veterinarian facility to get operated on. Had 2 more horses on, had Procrastinator and Capistrano on. She's gone now to enjoy her second career as being a broodmare. I dropped them off at the farm and picked up 3 horses. Brilliant Corners, no free lunch in Tipsy and Dixie. They're back at Harry's Barn now. They're actually getting shoes on as we speak. To begin jogging tomorrow. It's nice to have them back. I was really, really happy with the way today went and excited about the way yesterday went. We had a good day, but it could have been much better, right? Had we had longer necks and noses, I think we would have done a lot better. Brave World was a winner, and he looked really, really good in winning. Kevin just has him on his toes. He raced well again for Kevin. White Tiger was third, but should have been a winner. He did the moonwalk of halfway down the lane. He cleared the lead quick. And as I said to our clients, and I tell you guys all the time, White Tiger's an incredibly fast horse, but he can be a coward sometimes also. And when he clears to the front, he'll attack hard. When you cover him up like Aaron did yesterday, he'll come like a pacer. But then when he clears to the front, you got to finish off your dinner. you got to drive away from those horses, and he just kind of hung out for a second and got picked off by two pretty good horses. But nevertheless, he should have been a winner, but raced well again. Tim's got him on his toes. He raced well, and Aaron's starting to get a feel for him. You know, he first over at the 3/8 a week before is not the trip for White Tiger. It never has been. It never will be, but he covered him up till the bitter end. I think he could have waited a little longer, but at the same time, I don't blame him for moving him where he did. He was covered up plenty long by normal horse standards, and he really should have been to the winner's circle. Finished third, raced okay. Compass Rose DC ended up first over with her again. She's just having a tough year. I don't mean a really bad year, just ends up in a position, like I've put her on the front. She's not as good on the front. Last time I won with her, sit, leave, sit, finish up your mile and win. She'll do that. She doesn't really enjoy being first over. She doesn't really enjoy being on the front. Up close along the rail or second or third over is a real good trip for her. She ended up first over yesterday. Again, fourth beat, what, half a length? Could have ended up with 2 wins right there. Instead, we ended up with a third and a fourth. Oh So Pine raced good again. I don't know why nobody had any respect for this horse. They will. I guarantee you they will by the end of the winter. And Hunter Myers and obviously the stable, we didn't get off on the right foot this summer, but he's certainly done a great job with Oh So Pine. And I had told Tim, you know, just list Aaron. You know, if you want the best results, and list the best drivers. But, you know, I think Hunter Myers is slowly creeping himself into a position where he knows Oh So Pine, he gets along with him. Might be worth putting him back down first driver on Oh So Pine. So I'll talk to Tim about that this week. It's not like Aaron even knows Oh So Pine. So Hunter gets along with him. Very happy with the way he's driven him his last two. So he'll likely get the drive on him next week. And then Cruising in Style, Wilbur Yoder ended up driving, and Wilbur's a good guy if you've ever met him. He's a good guy and a good horseman. Cruising in Style, he did the best he could. He got away half safe and then exploded to the front. He's parked all the way to the quarter in 27-4 in the mud, then had to release one of the favorites. It ended up being an okay trip for him, but he was definitely better as he's in a little easier than he would have been in Toronto. But let's call it a stepping stone start. He was 4 or 5 weeks off. You can only train him up so hard, and I think Tim had him on his toes and he raced well. I'd like to see, you know, Aaron, nothing against Wilbur, but I'd like to see Aaron or Tony Hall on this horse next week, you know, put him in a position to do very well, and I think he's going to spark back up and start being the horse. Now, I had some good news yesterday. I had a conversation with one of our clients, Mark, who's a New York resident, and we've had some real problems with New York and licensing and whatnot. Now, so, optimistic news. Now, this would be third person from someone at the commission, theoretically, I believe, to Mark, to me, was that if you own less than 1%, you won't need a license. That is pivotal. That's an important thing. Stonebridge Simba and Cruising in Style fit into that boat, as the Winter Group and the Ohio Group own shares in those horses. So, if that's the case, then we can start targeting New York for the new year. I know that Yonkers has done January 22nd till I think December 22nd to January 4th, or maybe the second week in January. Both Cruising in Style and Stonebridge Simba would do well there. I think Cruising in Style has proved he would do well there. Stonebridge Simba's kind of in between classes. We're wondering where we're going to race him, but he could be targeted for there also. Very happy with what I've seen from both those horses this week. Stonebridge Simba, of course, drew the outside, got away badly. On a half-mile track, you know, if you're sitting 8th at the half, the odds are low that you're going to do good, but you got to play the hand you're dealt. I think Aaron did what he could with the horse, salvaged the 5th in the final. A little better draw, and I think he does well. We'll probably race him once or twice more at Northfield, and then, as I said, I'll investigate this so that I get it in writing from the New York Racing Commission that, in fact, if we have 60 people that own 20% of Cruising in Style, they won't need to be licensed. If that's the case, then it's game on. So we talked about the horses that raced yesterday. West 52nd, 2nd and 55 raced well. Bit of a smoke show on the front end. I know that Tim moved him out. I thought he raced well. I know he was 3-5, but whatever the hell that was that won that horse, he looked like the best horse in the race. He just completely looped the field and jogged. He looked like a 3-5 horse, whereas the other horses just looked good. As I said, Brave World raced good. And then Rooney Blue Chip, if you want to see an insane race, probably one of the craziest races I've seen in North America in quite some time, go back and look at Rooney Blue Chip's race yesterday. It was an absolute dog's breakfast. They were all over the track. I've never seen anything like it. Go back and watch Rooney Blue Chips race from yesterday at Northfield. What he did show is that he is good enough and probably can win that class. Yesterday he was fourth, but he really couldn't. He couldn't have been any better than fourth. Just go back and watch the race. It was something to behold. So we talked about the horses we had operated on. Grace is done tomorrow. Of Tom is also done already, as is our girl Path of Totality. They're off for a few weeks. Path of Totality will be heading out to the farm after that, whereas the other two will enter back into training and jogging after 2 or 3 weeks. We turned out Capistrano. She's now gone out to be a broodmare. We'll breed her in February. Procrastinator went out to get beefed up a little bit and get healthy and relax. What else do we have? No Free Lunch, Tipsy and Dixie, and Brilliant Corners are back with us now, so that's cool. And then obviously on the weekend, yesterday we just scratched Stormont Wizard. This is a problem with claiming sometimes. Somebody said, well, you claimed an old horse, what do you expect? He was sick, we got him healthy, then he jumped on himself, we had to scratch him. The horse will be fine, but I'm going to take a classy horse over a younger horse with less experience and accolades. Certainly my 2 cents, that's what I would like. I know I spoke to Billy yesterday. He said, listen, the horse will be fine, 2-3 weeks. I said, just have him ready to go January 1st. If you got to qualify him, but just have him ready to go the first part of January, and I think everybody will be happy. I certainly will. And one horse that is heading home, Rose Run Why Not and Gray is a New Red, are on their way back this week to the farm, and they'll be accompanied by a racehorse of ours, Ailsund. I know she's kind of an in-between horse, and a lot of people are going to say, why didn't we just sell her, or why are we keeping her? I think she has more to do. She fits in onward as a 2, not to mention she, I think at Mohawk she could be a useful type of horse for us for a while. I don't think it's a huge gamble. She's shown talent. I was 3rd beat ahead in 55 or 56 with her at the Meadows. I think this filly has potential, has talent, and I'd like to see her show it right here at Mohawk. So she'll be coming home also. So 3 more on their way back: Ailsund, Rose Run Why Not, and Gray is a New Red on their way back soon. So that's it. A busy week. At the end of the week, we have the open house. But leading up to the open house, we have a lot going on. And then right after the open house, that night I have to race Jesse Balboa and Donadover. Both, I think, have pretty good shots for this week on Friday. So that's it. That's your midweek update. Lots to update today. I guess it's not really midweek. It's Tuesday. We have Yes racing tonight and a whole bunch more tomorrow. Hope you guys are having a good week. It is a good day today. A little cold, but still a good day. Take care.